What up? What up? What up? What up? Good morning. All right, folks, how we doing? It's the Doug Rice Show. I am, in fact, Doug Rice here, back again. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. Oh my goodness, what a live we have in store for you today, my folks, my fellow friends, my Hebrew brothers and sisters, scattered across the four corners of the earth, holy royal Hebrews. How are you? How you doing? How's it going? Got my morning off to an interesting start this morning. Went outside, started walking about, enjoying the air and the sun. And no doubt here they came in droves, heathens, from every direction, wanting as much connection. And I had to run for my own protection. You saw the video. Those of you that have joined me on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and formerly known as X, it's all a titter. Oh my goodness gracious. And again, Shabbat Shalom to every one of you, the new followers, the new folks that have tuned in to see, to hear. Please understand, I do not do this often, and I do not do it often enough. I have I have a life that demands me driving. I am a cab driver. And occasionally I am a writer, but from time to time I do find the time to do a show. And this show, my friends, is apropos. Oh, yeah, you know. It is going down. And by it, I mean America. Going down like an elevator. Going down. It is press the B on the elevator and see how low America will go. Oh, you know, it's about to show its monkey ass. End of class. Folks, I haven't done a show in a while. I haven't done a live in a while. And the reason I have not done a live in a while is that I'm a writer. I am a writer. I specialize in Negro prose, just so you knows. And I do that as often as possible. I don't have to do a show to reinforce all you know. I write all day throughout the day in, day out. You see what I write. You have no doubt. I am a writer. And so when I am moved to finally do a show, I try to give you the best show that I can. And I got to say, the last effort I put in the can was not an effort that I could stand. I removed it. I reproved it. And so you will not find the last live that I did regarding being no part of the world. I leave those types of subjects to more capable Hebrews than myself. And I never go without a show without pointing out that if you look for spiritual nourishment, if you are looking for a way to get yourself spiritually aligned, please go to TR Ministries. Please go to Brother Yacoba, Brother Teo, Dante Fortson. I will not veer from those three ministers as I have coined them. They are the three ministers. I don't care about their personal proclivities, their politics. I like the meat of the matter that they impart to all of the Negroes who are smart. Hey, I like that. That ended well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have read the intro to this particular show, then you absolutely know where it's going to go. Folks, set aside all jokes. Is it going down or is it going down? And we're going to talk about it today. Yes, we are. We're going to have a lively discussion because I think all of us can see and know and understand unequivocally it shows America has run its course. Say it again. Yes, I say it one more time. America has run its course. It's over. It's done. Close the book. Turn the page. It's a wrap. They're off the stage. Yes, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, my Hebrews, my Negroes, we are next. We got next. We're on deck. What the heck? They know it too. They know they're through. And we're going to go by it item by item. We're going to check into the bona fides. And we're going to just kind of look into this. We're going to look into this deeply. Now, if you had a chance to read over the intro, you kind of know where this show is going to go. My encouragement to you is that you like, subscribe, share. If you like what you see, then do me a favor, look right down there. It's easy to support this live. Again, my name is Doug Rice, and I try to survive on not just the work I do in driving a cab, but also if you wish to contribute to this effort, please feel free. And the links to do so are down there for you to see. We are going to talk today about what we all see and have no doubt is America's end is upon it. America is finished. And, we can't really go too far into this discussion without checking out what ICE is doing, what our Hispanic, Latino, some people call them brethren, but I don't, naturally. Hispanic, Latino counterparts in oppression, perhaps that's a better apropos name, but for goodness sake, they brought this on themselves. Yes, they did. They brought this on themselves. They voted this whole fiasco into their lives. And shortly before that, they tried to make it difficult for Negroes to survive in that town they call L.A. Let's not look away. Let's not try to fool ourselves into things being exactly as what we're seeing. But I try not to digress into that. That's a whole nother show, whole nother topic. And I have kept up on the current on the current events and all the activities that they go without relent. They're on them. They're giving them exactly what they voted for, and they are now crying. But again, let's move to the topic at hand. How we doing, folks? First, I hope everybody's having a great Shabbat. May the praise goes to God of all creation, Yahweh. I mean, how do you actually say the name of the Creator? There are many ways, and many folks, Yah, Yahuwah, Yahweh. It's a gambit. In the name of Yeshua, Yahushua, some people commonly call Jesus. Thank you for this day. We thank you for this Shabbat. We thank you to see, and we thank him a lot. Let me tell you something. First and foremost, America has run its course. We are truly blessed to be living in this particular time. I want to say that again. There were questions in the day of Yeshua when that time would be, when the end of things would come, and there were descriptions that were given. There were descriptions given as to what to look for that signified the end of all things. And we are now in the thick of it. For goodness sake, can you believe it? Just yesterday or so, I suppose Israel decided to have a go. Israel decided to attack Iran, and we all know it was a 10-year plan, and they are going about trying to make a stand. And let me tell you, it's crazy, man. You know, Iran has responded in kind, and it seems the whole world has lost its mind. But ain't no 400-year prophecy, right? I mean, we know 2019 didn't really usher in the death knell of the entire world, did it? No, it did. Did it? I think it did. And I got to say, the shots that were being distributed about that time certainly played into the losing of these folks' minds as they seem to be coming unglued at every chance. And it just isn't a happenstance. All of these things are converging, congealing, melding into a singular event that we know will approach, and without relent, it will be here. The time is near. America has run its course. And what are we looking at? I mean, what are we actually looking at? We're looking at riots, we're looking at wars, we're looking at upheaval, and we're looking at more. We are looking at so much going on within the framework of this planet, all predicated on the last 400 years. It came to an end in some folks' minds, including mine, in 2019. You know what I mean? And they ignored us, don't they? Didn't they? Do they? Yes, they do. They ignore Negroes. Boy, they ain't got nothing to say to us, do they? I notice the conversation doesn't seem to be revolving around us at all. However, it seems to be all about us. You know, they're not really making too big of a stink of saying too much to us right now. Juneteenth, I believe, is tomorrow. Good luck. Good luck. I don't celebrate such idiocy. I don't go into those things. And I got to tell you, folks, what we're seeing, the final death throes of the United States of America, these United Snakes, hissing themselves into oblivion as that sun above them, in its solar maximum, releasing all of these rays that they say are so dangerous, these UV rays. Dangerous to whom exactly? I don't know. But I don't believe they're going to affect the Negro. Uh-oh. Yes, folks, the end of America is at hand. You're watching it. And it begins with the folks, the small hats. I believe that their time is also near an end. Let me tell you something. What I do for a living, I drive a cab. I've made a show about driving a cab, why I drive a cab. I advise I recommend you look at the show. It's the last show that I did before this one. It's been that long ago. And I have the opportunity to talk to many people that sit in my cab, captivated by the fact they need to go somewhere from point A to point B. And guess who they're relying on to get there? Me. And so with a captive audience sitting in the rear, I tug, I pull, and I ask, lend an ear, and I begin. And there are so many of them that are drawn in. I have the opportunity to tell them, America is finished. I believe America has run its course. I believe that the chickens have come home to roost. And they have, haven't they? The chickens are loose. And so many back there listen. Their eyes sometimes get a glisten because they know the point I ain't missing. This is a wrap, folks. Everything you see going on about you indicates and signifies the United States is about to go into obscurity. It's the final chapter being written into the history books right now as they wave about, flailing about, trying to resist and somehow stave off the inevitable. And they've done it to themselves. They set themselves up for failure. They literally set themselves up to be eventually just fade into anonymity, into nothing, into obscurity, into the past, as they try so desperately to hold on to a past that has long passed them by, because they can't keep their numbers up. They can't procreate enough. Well, they can't white supremacy their way out of this. It's all going amiss. It's all coming unglued. It's right before their very eyes. And meanwhile, what they have the very epitome of white supremacy at the helm, Donald Trump. My God, what a buffoon. What an absolute idiot. What a moron this man is. And they love him. They love every inch of his being, because what they're seeing is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed cacophony of caucasity that is a monstrosity and acidity. The only thing I could think of. I got to say, folks, America gets no second chances. There is no chance for a second chance. There is no chance at a second golden age. It's going to be about turning the page. It's going to be all the rage. And they're ready. They're ready to go into the streets. They're ready to have this civil war they want so badly to have. Now, some of them want a race war, but here lately, we've seen brothers and sisters that have proven beyond doubt that a race war may not be what they really want. If we're talking about hand-to-hand, toe-to-toe, hit those eyes and take them blows. I don't know that they'll be able to withstand a race war. I think they'd more likely appreciate a civil war. And just today, we had two Democrats go at each other, ready to shoot one another in some of these obscure towns somewhere. And so the games begin. America is at its end. And we know, without doubt, as they scream and shout, the true target is Negroes. What they really want, what they truly want to get their hands on, what they'd really like to do when it comes to quelling civil unrest is to have Negroes be the target, because we're the best. We make the best targets for them. And they do to us what they wish to do to us. And they really would love to get their hands on us. I tell Negroes unequivocally, please, stay at home, stay out of the mess, stay out of the melee, stay out of the way, stay elsewhere, be unavailable, avoid the crowds. They are not your friends. They are not your allies. We have none of those in front of our eyes. We only have the nations. We have those that partook in the conspiracy to put us into slavery, and that, my friends, is what you see when you see them. Believe me. It is an interesting topic, is it not? America's run its course. 300-year dynasties must end. 300-year dynasties must all end, and they're at the end of the line. No great society, no nation has lasted beyond 300 years. No superpower has lasted beyond a 300-year term. And the end of America is something they have earned. And we know at the end, they're all going to burn. And burn they should. There's nothing that they've done that should stave off their run. We know this. What have they contributed? What have they given to the earth? What is it that they have given birth to? What is a noteworthy, esteemed, and honorable thing the United States has lended to the earth here and for the record, for all eternity? What will the United States be known for? Well, the only thing I can think of is white supremacy. They seem to have perfected white supremacy, but it stands for nothing because they are far from supreme. They are not supreme beings. They are, in fact, lesser in their makeup. And that seems to contribute to their shakeup because the reality of who and what they are is now in front of them. Their inability to hold the center together is now front and center. And as they all move toward the fantasy of a whites-only country, I think they understand that leads to annihilation. It leads to not having a nation. All they need to do is look at other countries that have very little diversity within them, and they're all at war with one another. Over in Europe, you have Russia and Ukraine. Ain't no brothers and sisters involved in that. Ain't no playing there. In other areas of the world, in Germany and all these other Polish countries, there's right-wing white nationalism just gone wild, but with very few individuals there to cramp their style. And it seems that the United States does not take into account what it is seeing and the amount of individuals that go into sustaining a country, sustaining a society. And this particular society doesn't really like variety. But I digress. I don't want to get into too much mess. The only legacy the United States has brought to the earth is a legacy of death, destruction, mental disease. They have put within the realm of this world all the hedonistic and self-grandizing conduct that they can construct, and it's now run amok. And the world is tired. The world is tired of these hillbillies. The world is tired of these Neanderthals swinging their weight around, telling people what they can and cannot do, taking their resources, taking their wealth, taking their power, putting in puppets, putting in all of these different mechanisms that serve the interests of a country that offers nothing other than white supremacy as a reward. And we can see that the white supremacy that they offer is truly untoward. And we see that Mexican Americans who thought that their close proximity to whiteness would somehow give them all the gains that white supremacy has taken, and it seems their paradigm and reality is shaken. Yes, America has truly run its course, and it's a fitting end for them all. And they have leading them the best product America could muster in Donald J. Trump. I mean, if there were ever a grand scheme to put the worst person on the top of the pile, let me tell you, Donald Trump fits the bill with that stupid smile. And he's going about doing everything he can to usher in the destruction of this land, and they all cheer him on as they wait for the end of their dawn. And it's going to come. America is finished, and they know that they're finished. Think of what's been going on lately. Think of all that you see as they grasp at the last few straws of their exceptionalism and their patriotism. All of the isms that seem to be now of absolutely no value somehow. And the natives here, when the European white man appeared, were told that they would not have to suffer these beings for more than 300 years. And see what you're seeing. 300 years is nearly here, and so is their end as it draws near. The world watches and waits. That's what I see the world doing. The world is simply standing back and allowing the United States to consume itself, to play itself out of position, and to do so upon its own volition. It's almost like it's on a self-destructive mission. But we already know. We can see the end of the show. And what should Negroes do? What should the progeny of slaves be doing at this moment? Should we be joining in to assist in trying to stop the inevitable? No. No. We've stood up at every turn to help this land. And in every response, they have shown and proven that they have no Negro interests at heart. They are not interested in our being in this country. They are not interested in our thriving. They're not interested in our upbuilding or even our surviving. It is their wish, it was their wish, it has been their wish, it continues to be their wish that Negroes simply go away. That's the wish they have to this very day. And let it not escape your Negro notice. The reason that they fought against universal health care in this country was because Negroes would get health care. And their thought and their process and their mechanisms and their scheme was that if they simply denied Negroes health care in 2 to 3 generations, we wouldn't even be here. Yet and still, what do we see? My fellow Negroes, listen to me, we see their numbers dwindling into obscurity and our numbers remaining steady or rising. I think someone did an error in surmising. We ain't going nowhere. We're not leaving, we're not disappearing. I'm hoping there are white people within my hearing. We will maintain until the kingdom comes. There's no getting rid of us. That for them is a problem. And so what will be the next move? What will Donald Trump's next move be to try to make this a whites only country? Well, we see that he's going from city to city, rounding up as many as he possibly can, putting them on a boat and shipping their asses to another land. And if you don't think for a Negro moment that we will not be included in that foment, well, let me tell you. While names are already on the list, not a single one of them has been missed. I can tell you without doubt, the target is us. That lends us to the Negro question. Back in the 40s and the 30s, when Hitler was on rise, he had a few things that he did surmise. One of them was called the Jewish question. What to do about the Jews? Well, let me tell you now, because this is news. They have the same question about Negroes through their minds. The Negro question. That is the question. And what do you think their answer will be? I don't think they can put us in ovens. I don't think that they can Holocaust us. I don't believe that they can do that. I believe the outcry of the world would be beyond their ability to prevent some sort of reaction, some sort of mechanism to take hold against the United States. But what they may try to do is to remove us from this country. They may try to round us up and put us in camps, and they may try to invite us to leave. They may try to bribe or cajole us to leave. They may simply snatch us off the streets and send us elsewhere. There is nothing that they will not do to have a whites-only country at this point. They see the forest for the trees. They understand America is on its knees, and they're begging, they're pleading, they're asking Trump, please do something. And something is what he is doing. And it will eventually be to our ruin. It's my opinion. Let's not forget, I've brought it up before, that the end is knocking at their door. But that sun and its effects on the earth seem to be indicating the pangs of birth. The birth pangs of prophecy are heading at light speed toward this planet every single day. The earthquakes, the hurricanes, the rains, the volcanoes. All of these things seem to be happening at once. We've got a caldera here in the United States in the very center of this country that's threatening. Magma is moving beneath the earth. We've got all kinds of volcanic mountains that are giving new birth. I can't imagine what might be in the future, but it's going to take more than a stitch and a suture. To fix this is an impossibility. They are beyond repair. I believe that they know this as well. They know that if it's not one thing that gets them, it may be another. It may be the weather. It may be nature. It may be the might of that which was put in place to maintain the ecosystems of this space that does in the beings that were not created by God's own hand. And let me say this while I have your attention in this land. It appears that anything that has not been created by God Almighty, anything that has not had the touch of God's creation in its makeup, in its being here, that may be slated for removal from this existence. I think we can look back at history and find that if any other being came in kind, it was removed by God Almighty through one mechanism or another, either through fire, through hailstorms, through water. There are a lot of different ways that this came about, a lot of different civilizations and societies affected by the unseen beings that have taken into account their own creation. And they too are filled and within this nation, and there's a reason that their existence may be taken from them, as that those are descendants that never had the breath of life blown into them. I've said that before. For those of you that want a more detailed explanation, you might go to a few of the other lives that I've done, and you'll find out that I've done some thorough research on this. It's very interesting what's about to occur. Cleansing of this earth, a removal from the earth, the foreign tissue that was put upon it, the tares that were sown in with the wheat. And if you don't have a grasp of scripture, you're incomplete. This is true business happening. The folks that make up this country are not folks that made up this earth. Their original origins were not of spiritual birth. It's part of the reason that America seems to be coming to an end. And they look in the mirror and try to pretend that we are all the same. Well, I got to say, in the words of the inevitable Kendrick Lamar, they not like us, but maybe I go too far. The sun may do them in. That white skin may not have the barrier of melanin needed to protect them from the fire of that sun that burns above them, which may be the reason we hear of them building trillion-dollar cities underground to hide. I don't know, but maybe they need to go inside. Just seems that things seem to be progressing at a more quickening pace. And that's why you need to get that grin off your face. Folks, listen, if you're not aware of what's happening on, if you're not aware of what's going on, if you're not put on by all the things that you see, I don't think you're looking. I don't think that you're taking an interest. I think that you believe that in ignoring the situation, you protect your peace. Sister Deborah did a live about that just a few moments ago, that ignoring what you see happening is not a way to protect your peace. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. And it has nothing to do with protecting your peace. Your peace must be disturbed at this moment. If you are a comfortable Negro in this country, you're doing something wrong. If you are at ease with all that you see and you go about your daily life just gleefully appeased, you may have failed. If you're not conscious of what's coming, if you're not attentive to what's about to occur, if you're not ready to go at a moment's notice, if fleeing this place has not come to your mind, well, you may have sacrificed your black behind to comfort, to complacency, to ignoring the problem, to thinking it'll all go away. It will not go away. And what's coming is coming. And soon, all of these mechanisms that we use to communicate with each other are going to be shut off. The Facebooks, the X's, the Instagrams, the TikToks, the YouTubes, all gone at the flash of a moment, an electromagnetic pulse, at a sun supernova, and all of these things turn off. And the only thing that you'll have is the memory of what was told to you before all of it occurred. And the only thing I'll ask you now is, have you heard what's happening? A copy of scripture is vital to have in your possession, because without all this information, media, electronic, it'll go into regression. You need to be mindful that one day you may never hear from me again until we see each other face to face, and perhaps and hopefully in a different place. But for now, we know America has run its course. And the history that they ignore is the history that will do them in. Remember as well, folks, they put Negroes on the sidelines in this whole debacle they call Earth. They just sidelined Negroes, the very people designed to bring peace to the earth, the peacemakers, those that they do not even confer with. We are the folks that give kings advice. If you don't believe me, read the Bible. Do it twice. They used Daniel. They used Joseph. You understand our place in this particular reality as set apart and chosen of God Almighty. We have within us a special ability to look at things a specific way and to have very unique and helpful things to say at that right moment and at that right time. But what they've done is taken us off the front line. And they now are they're in a frenzy, aren't they? The whole world seems to be losing its collective minds and all at once. And they don't know who to turn to. And the people that they could have turned to that may have assisted them in bringing about a calming of the nerves of these nervous creatures, those are the individuals they have vilified. Those are the individuals they have criminalized. Those are the individuals they have povertized. And they are Negroes. It's the reason I don't look to any other group being set apart on this planet except Negroes. And if that doesn't sit well with you, then I got to say this: to hell with you. America is finished. And it had to end sometime. It absolutely had to end sometime. The reason America had to end is because white supremacy was never a thing. White supremacy was only a thing in the minds of those who were white supremacists. In no one else's mind was white supremacy a thing. Now, they used all they had, the sword given to them to just enforce white supremacy, but it was really never a thing. There was nothing ever supreme about these white creatures you're seeing. And so it had to end. It's going to end. It's ending now. No need to pretend. This is it. And the only thing I will ask you is, what are you prepared to do? How far away from these creatures are you prepared to be? Or are you going to be right next to them so that you can see? Well, I'm going to land there. I think I've done enough. I think I have covered the bases. I haven't been too tough. If you'd like a more concise and clearly put together a version of this live, I did write on my Medium account the outline structure. It was a little bit shorter. It wasn't a long lecture. So I do appreciate your time. I appreciate your being here. I don't know if I've hit a nerve, but I can tell you this: it's almost time to leave here. Plea doctrine aside, folks, if you're not seeing what I'm seeing, then you're not looking and you don't care, and you'll suffer the same fate of all the folks that remain here. If you have a way out, take that way. If you can leave this country, leave. If you can be out of the way elsewhere at all times, do that as well. If you're prepared to go to ground, as I'm prepared to go to ground at any moment I hear the sound of these folks losing their collective minds, well, be prepared. Stay prepared. Be ready. I appreciate your time, folks. Please, if you wish to support this effort, first, of course, like, subscribe, share, do all the things you see down there. And if you are so moved to prove your support of this place, please as well support me by giving with grace to $ the Doug Rice Show. That's my Cash App. I appreciate it. And hey, I really appreciate you folks being here. Remember as well, I have PDF files as well. The PDF files as well are good. And I'm going to show those PDF files in the outro of this show. I appreciate you being here. Just so you know, I think this was a better effort than my last show. And now I definitely have to go. You guys have a wonderful day. And you heard what I say. Get that goddamned grin off your faces and stay away from public places. Have a good one, folks.